ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Very good morning to all. Now we are at the properties of covalent compounds. Properties of covalent compounds. When you are ready to study about the properties of covalent compounds, you have to recall the properties that are related to ionic compounds also. Once again, I will give the important points related to the properties of ionic compounds. Most of the ionic compounds are existed in the form of solids. They have high melting points and boiling points. They are readily soluble in the water. They are bad conductors in solid state and good conductors in aqueous solution and in molten state. They do not exhibit isomerism. And same time, the ionic bond is a non-directional bond. So they do not exhibit isomerism. And the reactions between the ionic compounds are very fast because during the reaction between the ionic compounds, the oppositely charged ions are mutually exchanged within a fraction of a second. These are all the important features or important properties that are related to ionic compounds. Now, we have to go through the properties of covalent compounds. Quite contrast. Look at the first one. Most of the covalent compounds are existed in the form of gases. Some are existed in the form of liquids. Very few are existed in the form of solids. Most of the covalent compounds are existed in the form of gases and some of liquids, and very few are existed in the solid state. And here they have low melting points and boiling points, because compared with ionic compounds or compared with ionic bond, covalent bond is weaker. Here the ionic bond is the strong electrostatic attraction between the two oppositely charged ions, but in case of covalent compound, that is nothing but the pairing and sharing of electrons between the two atoms. Electron between two atoms. So, and same time, most of the covalent compounds are existed in the form of gases. Means what? Here, a weak van der Waals attractions that are existed between the gas molecules. Now you have to recall the fundamentals. Let us consider three different states of matter: gases, liquids and solids. In gases, the molecules are far apart with each other. The molecules are far apart with each other. And in case of solids, the molecules are closely packed with each other. Quite contrast. The molecules are far apart with each other, but in case of solids, the molecules are closely packed with each other, closely arranged with each other. Why? Here, in case of solids, the strong electrostatic attractions may be appeared, but in case of the gases, there will be weak van der Waals attraction between the molecules. But what about the liquids? In liquids, here the distances are intermediate to that of both the solids and also both solids and next one gases. Here the intermolecular distances are intermediate to that of both solids and gases. Here the molecules are far apart with each other and the molecules are held with weak van der Waals attractions. But in case of solids, they are held with each other through electrostatic attraction, strongly attracted with each other. Okay, next. In gases, the molecular interactions are very weak. And in solids, the molecular interactions are very strong. But here in liquids, intermediate to that of these two. Due to strong molecular attractions, which molecular attractions? Intermolecular attractions. Here, the solids are having high melting points and boiling points. But in case of gases, the molecules are far apart with each other. They are held with the weak van der Waals forces. Then, small amount of energy is enough to break the weak van der Waals attraction. So, they have low melting points and boiling points. And they are bad conductors of heat and electricity. But there are some exceptions. What are they? Here the exception is graphite. They are bad conductors of heat and electricity. And they are insoluble. They are insoluble or less soluble in water. And here covalent bond is a directional bond. So here the covalent compounds exhibit isomerism. And the reactions between covalent compounds reactions between covalent compounds are very slow. Reactions between covalent compounds are very slow. They exhibit isomerism. Why? Covalent bond is a directional bond. Covalent bond is a directional bond. So, here covalent compounds exhibit isomerism. They are less soluble in water, but readily soluble organic solvents. Why? Organic compounds are covalent compounds. Organic solvents. What are they? Example, benzene, toluene, xylene, petrol, diesel, kerosene. These are all the organic solvents. Here the covalent compounds are readily soluble in the organic solvents, less soluble or almost insoluble in water. They are bad conductors of heat and electricity, and they have low melting points and boiling points, and they are existed in the form of gases mostly. Some are in the liquid state, very few are in the solid state. But here there is an important point. What is that? Reactions between the covalent compounds are very slow. What is the reason for that? During the reaction between the covalent compounds, the bonds that are undergo breaking and same time the new bonds are formed in the products formed. Take for example, let us consider combustion of methane. CH4 plus O2 gives rise CO2 plus 2H2O. 2H2O. Okay. Here 1 mole of methane subjected to the combustion to give carbon dioxide and 2 moles of water. Here methane is a covalent compound, oxygen is a covalent compound, but the reaction between the covalent compounds are very slow. Why? Here, during the reaction between the covalent compounds, in methane 4 CH bonds undergo breaking, and same time here the bond between the 2 oxygen atoms undergo breaking and C double bond will form. That means total 4 covalent new bonds are formed and 2H2O, 2 into 2, 4 covalent bonds are formed, new bonds are formed. Here 4 OH bonds, 4 CO bonds means total 8 new bonds are formed. And in case of reactants, 4 CH bonds and 4 OO bonds are undergo breaking. Here total number of breakings is equal to 8. Total number of new bond formed is equal to 8. Total number of changes is equal to, here we are representing them as changes. Total number of changes that are take place during the reaction means number of breakings, covalent bonds breaking 8. Number of new bonds formed 8. 8 plus 8, 16. Total number of changes is equal to 16. For these 16 changes, here the reaction required some time. As a result of that, the reaction between the covalent compounds are very slow. Very slow. This is about the important features or important properties and important characteristics of covalent compounds. After this, we have to discuss another important concept as well as another important bond form, that is nothing but coordinate covalent bond. Coordinate covalent bond. What about the coordinate covalent bond? Here there is a new bond which is supposed to be a brother to covalent bond. What is that? Coordinate covalent bond. Coordinate covalent bond. Here coordinate covalent bond is also known as dative bond. What is the sense of dative? Temporary. Temporary. This is not stable. This bond undergo breaking easily for slight heating. As a result of that, this is also known as the dative bond or temporary bond, and that is also known as coordinate covalent bond, means one type of or special type of covalent bond. And here it was first introduced by Sidgwick, and the name dative bond was introduced by Langmuir. Coordinate covalent bond or dative bond was first given or introduced by Sidgwick. Later on, here the name dative bond was given by Langmuir. Okay. What is the specialty of the dative bond or coordinate covalent bond? How can you understand? How can you define? This is the one of the fundamental. Just like covalent bond and ionic bond. What about the covalent bond? How can you define covalent bond? A special type of covalent bond that are formed by contribution of the bond pair by one of the two bonded atoms, in a molecule is known as coordinate covalent bond or dative bond. Coordinate covalent bond is a special type of covalent bond. A bond formed by contribution of the bond pair by any one of the two bonded atoms and that is equally shared between the two atoms is known as coordinate covalent bond. Coordinate covalent bond means what? Generally covalent bond is formed by pairing and sharing of electron pair between the two bonded atoms. For the formation of each bond pair, for the formation of each covalent bond, each bonded atom should contribute at least one unpaired electron. Each one contribute one unpaired electron, but here the bond pair is contributed by any one of the two bonded atoms. Means what? Here the atoms which are ready to form dative bond, one should have lone pair, another should have vacant orbital for accepting of this electron pair. One is commonly represented as the donor, another one is represented as receptor. Here the bond pair is donated by one of the two bonded atoms and equally shared between the two nuclei or two atoms. Then the bond formed is known as coordinate covalent bond or dative bond. Coordinate covalent bond or dative bond. Okay. What about the example to the dative bonds or coordinate covalent bonds? Here, this is NH3, ammonia. And this is BF3, boron trifluoride. To give rise this is the salt. During the formation of this compound, ammonia donates a pair of electrons to BF3, or the central nitrogen atom donates a pair of electrons to boron. And here resulting the formation of dative bond. Here, the molecule which donates electron pair is known as donor. And the molecule which accepts electron pair is known as receptor. Okay. And same time, generally dative bond or coordinate covalent bond is represented by the symbol and arrow mark. That is pointing away from the donor to acceptor. Donor to acceptor. Donor to acceptor. And same time, the product that is formed by the reaction between the donor and acceptor is commonly represented as salt. Commonly represented as salt. Means what? Here, according to Lewis acid-base theory, the substance which donates electron pairs is known as base. And the substance which accepts electron pair is known as an acid. This is also known as Lewis base. This is also known as Lewis acid. And the product that is formed by the combination of acid and base is known as salt. Electron pair donor is a Lewis base. Electron pair acceptor is a Lewis acid. The product that is obtained by the formation of a dative bond is known as salt. Okay, now. But here the formation of salt is very slow process. Okay. But here, how boron trifluoride accepts electron pair? Here this is an electron deficient compound. How can you say? Look at here. In boron trifluoride, boron is the central atom. 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. In the excited state, 2s1, 2p2. This is the arrangement of electrons in central boron atom. Okay. During the formation of the molecule BF3, one s orbital mixed with the two p orbitals, resulting the formation of three sp2 hybrid orbitals. They overlap with the p orbitals of fluorine atom, resulting the formation of BF bonds, 3 sigma bonds. Okay. But there is a pure p atomic orbital which is not take part in the hybridization, and same time this is vacant. This is vacant. Means what? That can accept an electron pair. And same time here in boron trifluoride, the number of electrons that are present in the valence shell of central boron atom is equal to 6 only. It requires 2 more electrons to get the octet configuration. Means what? Here BF3 is always ready to accept an electron pair. Due to availability of vacant p orbital, it has tendency of accepting electron pairs, means that is a receptor and that is considered as the Lewis acid. But in case of ammonia, there is a lone pair in the valence shell of central nitrogen atom. It is ready to donate, so that is a donor and that is considered as Lewis base. When ammonia donates a pair of electrons to BF3, resulting in the formation of a salt product. This is known as ammonia boron trifluoride. Ammonia boron trifluoride. That is a salt. Okay. Related to this example, we can ask an important objective bit also. Here the question is asked like that. NaH3 plus BF3 gives rise product. Okay? What is the type of hybridization at nitrogen and boron? At nitrogen and boron during the formation of the product. I am repeating once again. NaH3 plus BF3 gives rise product. In some cases the product is also not given in the problem. Simply product. You have to think. And now he is asking about the change in the hybridization of the central atoms in the molecule. Then what is the type of hybridization involved at nitrogen atom and boron atoms of the product formed? Why? Why he is asking like that? In ammonia, type of hybridization sp3. sp3. 3 lone pairs, 1 bond, 3 bond pairs, 1 lone pair. Pyramidal, 107 degrees. And here in BF3 type of hybridization sp2. 3 bond pairs, 3 electron pairs, bond angle 120 degrees. Now the two molecules are involved in the formation of dative bond, resulting in the formation of this compound. Now he is asking about what is the type of hybridization at nitrogen atom and boron atom of the product formed. Here, in case of nitrogen, there is no change in the hybridization, sp3 as it is. But the bond angle is changed, 109 degrees. Here, what is the bond angle? Shape of the molecule is pyramidal. But here, tetrahedral. Bond angle, 109 degrees. Here, 107. Okay. Here, the type of hybridization of boron is sp2. Bond angle, 120. But here, the sp2 hybridization is also changes to sp3 and bond angle is decreased to 109 degrees. 109 degrees. That you have to think in an innovative manner. Here, actually this is related to the concept of hybridization, previous class and previous topics. But here I have given the previous concept in this particular case. Means what? Here the fundamental may be given at anywhere in the total subject of 2 years. Okay, this is the concept of hybridization. But here the concept of hybridization is implemented in the formation of dative bond. That you have to understand. You have to understand the link between the different topics, different concepts and different chapters also. Then only you can get very good command over the subject. And same time you should familiar with the fundamentals thoroughly. Never try to mug up. Never try to by heart. Try to understand. Then you can implement the concept at anywhere. Okay, come to the point. Here, dative bond or coordinate covalent bond is represented by an arrow mark which is pointing away from the donor to acceptor. According to Lewis base theory, a donor which donates electron pair is considered as Lewis base and an acceptor or receptor which accepts electron pair is considered as Lewis acid. Okay, right. But what about the favorable conditions that are required for the formation of dative bond? First one, a donor should have at least one lone pair. A donor should have at least one lone pair. Without lone pair, how the donor can donate electron pair? Meaningless. Next one. And an acceptor should have at least one vacant orbital. Without vacant orbital, here the acceptor is unable to accept electron pair. And same time, based on this, all these concepts, here during the formation of the complex, ligand is considered as the donor and the central metal ion considered as receptor. And here the reason for the formation of the coordination complexes is formation of dative bond. The species which donates electron pairs to the central metal ion is known as ligand. The species which accepts electron pairs from the ligands is known as central metal ion. Here the central metal ion is the receptor and the ligand is the donor. Ligand is Lewis base and here the central metal ion is Lewis acid. That is about the introduction of the coordinate covalent bond. Okay, I will go through another example. Here this is ammonia plus He plus. What is the atomic number of hydrogen? 1. Its electronic configuration 1s1. By losing that electron, here the s orbital is vacant. Then that can accept electron pair, resulting the formation of ammonium ion. Here ammonia is donor, H plus is acceptor, and here this is supposed to be salt. And in another case, water. Here this is water. In the valence shell of central oxygen atom, there are two lone pairs. And now the water molecule donates a pair of electrons to H plus, resulting the formation of, this is known as hydronium ion. This is known as ammonium ion. Right? And there is an important fundamental feature of dative bond. A dative bond is very unstable or means less stable and that cannot independently exist. A dative bond is formed after the formation of at least one covalent bond between the two atoms. Without covalent bond, a dative bond cannot be exist. Without covalent bond, without a single bond, without a covalent bond, a dative bond cannot be exist. Why? This is unstable. This is a temporary bond. It is easily undergo breaking even for slight heating. So, a dative bond can be existed or can be formed between the two atoms after the formation of one covalent bond at least. That is the important feature of this one. And here we are already familiar by discussion related to covalent bond about the covalency. How can we define covalency? The number of unpaired electrons that are given by an atom for the formation of bond pairs. For the formation of bond pairs is known as its covalency. After that, the covalency may be defined as the number of covalent bonds and dative bonds that are formed by atom of an element is known as covalency. Recently, dative bonds are also included in the combining capacity, nothing but covalency. Covalency may be defined as the number of covalent bonds or dative bonds that are formed by atom of an element in a molecule. Okay, and here in olden days, Here the dative bond is represented with an arrow mark. But recently in some molecules, here the dative bond is also considered as a double bond. Means what? This is already one sigma bond, one pi bond, and that is considered as the dative bond. And here, whatever it may be, dative bond or single covalent bond, that is considered as one bond pair. Even though that is a double bond or covalent bond, even though that is a double bond, means one sigma bond, one pi bond, and here that is represented by a dative bond in some case of some molecules, but that is considered as one bond pair according to VSEPR theory. Example, sulfur dioxide, and here this is the representation of sulfur dioxide according to Lewis theory. Okay, this is near about 116 degrees. But nowadays, the same sulfur dioxide is represented as double bond. This dative bond is represented as this one. You can give the charges by the formal charge. And same time, here number of dative bonds in sulfur dioxide 1. And another example, sulfur trioxide. But nowadays, this can be represented as, this is the molecule, 120 degrees. And in the same way, the dative bonds or coordinate covalent bonds are present in so many compounds like O3, NO2, N2O, N2O4, N2O5, and B3, N3, H6, NH4 plus, H3O plus. Okay. These are all examples to the compounds with coordinate covalent bonds, nothing but dative bonds. Right? Okay. But what about the properties? What about the properties of coordinate covalent compounds or the compounds with coordinate covalent bonds or dative bonds? Just like covalent compounds, the compounds with the dative bonds are mostly solids, mostly gases, and some are liquids and some are solids. They have melting points in between covalent compounds and ionic compounds. Means what? The melting points and boiling points of the compounds with the dative bonds are intermediate to that of both the covalent compounds and ionic compounds. And same time, here the physical existence is also intermediate to that of these two. Here the covalent compounds mostly existed in the gaseous state, but the ionic compounds are existed in the solid state. And here the physical state of the coordinate covalent compounds are here intermediate to that of these two. And same time, the compounds with the dative bonds are bad conductors of heat and electricity. They are less soluble in water and they are readily soluble in the organic solvents. They exhibit isomerism. And the reactions between the compounds with the covalent compounds and also the reaction between the covalent compounds and the compounds with the dative bonds are very slow. And here, in this particular topic, I have mentioned an important point. In case of the coordination complexes, donor is nothing but ligand, acceptor is nothing but central metal ion. And the ligands and the central metal ions are joined with or bonded with each other through a dative bond. Here the formation of dative bond is nothing but neutralization, that is formed by the reaction between base and acid. Okay. And here let us draw the structure, that is copper sulfate pentahydrate. Here in the valence shell of each and every oxygen atom of ammonia, there is a lone pair. So, water molecule is considered as ligand. Here it is donor, donor, donor. This is the central metal ion with vacant orbital. And here, related to this topic, the questions, object questions are asked like this. First one, type of bonds in ammonium chloride. Type of bonds in ammonium chloride. Here first option, covalent bonds. Second option, ionic bond. Third option, dative bonds. Fourth option, all types of bonds are present. Here the answer is this one. How? Look at the structure. Ammonium chloride. This is ammonia molecule. Now this is ammonium ion with dative bond. Cl minus, plus charge, minus charge, oppositely charged ions. These are covalent bonds, and this is a dative bond, and this is ionic bond. So the answer is all types of bonds are present. And in the same way, there is another question may be asked related to this one. Type of bonds present in copper sulfate pentahydrate is copper sulfate pentahydrate. Penta means fire, hydrate means water. And here the first option same, covalent bonds only, ionic bonds only, dative bonds only, and fourth option, all types of bonds are present. All types of bonds are present. Answer correct. Why? This is water. Water can be represented like this. OH, OH. These two are covalent bonds. Okay na? Next, second one, ionic bond. 2 plus and 2 minus, neutral. Here the strong electrostatic force between the oppositely charged ions is nothing but ionic bond. Ionic bond is present. And next one, dative bond. Here this is ligand, donor, and this is acceptor, central metal ion. The bond formed between the donor and acceptor is nothing but dative bond, coordinate covalent bond. This is also present. All the three types of bonds are present. Not only three types, covalent bond, ionic bond and dative bond. Here, this is a hydrogen bond, this is another hydrogen bond. Covalent bonds, ionic bond, dative bonds and hydrogen bonds are also present. So, answer is all types of bonds are present. All types of bonds are present. This is about the way of questioning related to the concept, that is coordinate covalent bond and also the properties of covalent compounds.
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యా రంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.